All right, welcome to another episode of Homestead Shop Talk podcast with Ben from Hollar Homestead, Al from Lumnah Acres, and myself, Jason from Sow the Land. This is episode, help me out, 29?
29 to 30.
Yeah, we're up there. I think it's 29.
I think it's 29.
Yeah, it's episode 29.
29, awesome. We're almost at 30, which is amazing. So I have a question for you guys. Do you guys ever have like weird, like homestead farming related dreams? Like, I don't know, some weird, like animals talking to you, pigs are getting out dream.
Actually,
You guys ever
I do. I have had a recurring dream since we've lived here that I'm digging in the swamp and I find giant bones. Straight up. Like, I've had this dream multiple times, to the point where, like, I want to go get the tractor next time the swamp's dried up and I'm going to start excavating just to see. Like, I've had this dream probably 5 times now. Crazy dream. Like, it's like, what the heck? I'll wake up and it's one of those dreams I can remember. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's a weird dream. But yeah, that's about as related to homesteading as I dream.
Yeah, maybe you should. Maybe someone's trying to tell you something.
Right.
Yeah, the only bones I'll find are bones of an old car or a couch or something that's buried out there.
Pig. How about you, Al? No crazy dreams?
Not that I remember. Sorry, they couldn't have been too crazy, right?
Yeah, so I have sometimes I have some crazy dreams. It seems like I have crazy dreams when, like, I got a lot of stuff going on. I don't know if that's just me being stressed out. But the other day I had this funny dream, man. I woke up and for whatever reason I still remember it. And so, because sometimes, you dream something and you're like, I totally forgot what I dreamt about, but it was funny, But this time I remember it was. So I was walking out to go feed my pigs, and my 2 breeder pigs, Zeke and Elvira, they got out of the netting. Right, this is my dream. They go underneath the netting and they get out, and as soon as they get out, they run towards me and they're running around me, and I'm like, oh geez, like I have to get these pigs back. And so I'm like trying to wrangle them in, like, okay, let's get back, and then instead of going back underneath the netting, they jump over the netting. Right, these big pigs jumping over the netting, and they jump over the netting into their pen. They're running around, and then they jump back out, and I'm like, oh geez, what am I gonna do? And in my dream I'm thinking, like, I'm gonna have to kill him, like. And so then I look over, right? Yeah, then I look over, and they're in our neighbor's pool. They're swimming around in a neighbor's pool. Like, I don't have neighbors currently in my neighbor's. Well, I might have neighbors, but they don't have a pool. So in my dream, my neighbor has a pool, and they're swimming around, and they're trying to get back out of the pool, but they can't because the water's kind of low, and they can't just like hop over the pool. And so here I look over, and Elvira, has her 2 hooves sticking up in the air, and she's bobbing down like she's floating, like a buoy, like a bobber. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And so I jump in the pool, I bear hug her, and I'm like, all right, and I'm gonna try to take her out of the pool, right? So then I kind of like bounce her up and down in the water, and I throw her up out of the water over the pool onto land. I did the same thing with Zeke, and then that was my dream.
That was a crazy dream.
Sounds like you need to make like a children's book.
A what?
You should like write it into like a children's book. Get like a good little story behind it.
I don't know what that was about. I woke up and I was like, what the heck was that? Like, and it seemed so real at the time,
Yep. Those are the worst ones, when you like wake up and you're like in a bad mood or something still, but you're like, no, that was just a dream. I don't need to be in a bad mood today.
Yeah. That too, when it seems so real.
Yep.
And you're like, whoa. Like, I'm even like sweating. Yeah, I have those dreams.
That's a crazy dream.
Did you get up like right away and go check on the pigs?
Yeah, and now every time I look at them, I'm like, they're gonna jump in the pool.
Yeah, can you guys jump the net flat-footed? Like, you have to get chicken netting for your pigs now.
It was so bizarre. I know, it was so funny. I told that to the girls, and they're just laughing. Oh man. So Ben, I just want to say congratulations, man. On
Yeah, congratulations.
the new one.
Well, thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, cat's out of the bag now, so I guess I can finally talk about it. It was one of those we had a hard time hiding it on the vlog and stuff like that. It was like, we better tell family, so we told like my parents at Christmas and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, now we can let it slip on the internet. So yeah, thank you.
What'd you guys get into this week? Anything special?
I think I talked about it a little bit on the last video. We started processing our cow. We're finally done. Finished on Thursday, I think, is when we were done with it. We're done. Nice. It's all taken care of. There's the last few things, like dealing with the fat.
How many days?
Oh gosh, 5 days, something like that. Probably could have been faster, but I had fun. Like, I worked on some value-added stuff. Like, we made jerky, and like, it was fun. Like, I got to experiment. I got to, cut one way. I did half the cow this way and half the cow the other way. It was just cool. Like, I don't know. As I've learned this whole butchering thing, it's kind of cool to not have a time limit, or you're not doing it in front of people, so you can just, like, I guess, explore. Like the whole back quarter, I just followed muscle groups. You make roasts out of the, the top round and the eye of round and stuff like that. Make jerky out of that stuff. And going through it with a book open, and it's like, okay, this is this muscle, and this is this muscle. This is where the tri-tip is, and stuff like that. So, like, I really had fun. It was like, kind of like I've been in school for a week. Like, it was really fun. But yeah, it's all done. 5 days.
Class.
Yeah, exactly. Anatomy class. So we got it. It all fit in the freezer. The only thing we don't have in the freezer is the bones. And Meg is currently, like, rushing to get all the stock she can make with all those bones, because those bones are still in your cool trailer, Jason. And I got to clean that out so we can kill 2 more pigs this weekend. So yeah, it's just like, whoo, we're in the home stretch though. Just this weekend, we got 2 more pigs, and that's it. Yeah. And that's it for till winter. It'll be interesting. Like, all of our freezers. Yeah. We call it shopping when we have to go down to one of the freezers and grab a roast or something, grab pork chops or whatever. We've got our pork freezer, our chicken freezer, and our beef freezer. And we went shopping last night and pulled out I think we pulled out a pork butt, and I got to see the freezer down there, and it's like, yeah, I don't know where we're putting 2 more pigs, but we'll see. I think between all of our freezers, we can probably make it fit, but it's going to be close. We might be curing a lot of meat.
You got another sold out class?
Yeah, this one's sold out. Actually, we're kind of overbooked. There's a couple people that are coming extra that wanted to come last year to our hand-hewn class and couldn't. And so, we just told them, it's like, hey, come whenever you can come. And so they're coming. I think they're coming all the way from Washington. Cool. So yeah, we're gonna have a full class. It's a lot of people. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it both because it's fun. Like, I enjoy teaching these classes, and I'm very excited that this is it. It's like, oh yes, done. I can get on to other things.
Right. So what book were you using? Was there 1 book, 2 books that you were looking at when you were cutting for references, or?
Yeah, I've talked about it on the vlog, but there's this book. It's called, Meg, what's our book over there? It's Dan, what's the guy's name? The meat book.
Is it Adam Danforth?
Adam Danforth, that's right. Yeah, it's Adam Danforth, Beef Butchering. The book's called just Butchering, I think. There's 2 of them, pork, chicken, rabbit, lamb, and then there's an entire book dedicated to beef. And I mean, these books have been so useful for me. Great pictures. It's like step-by-step instructions. You cut here, follow this, do this. And then in the beef book, because there's so many different ways to cut a beef, if you cut for T-bone steaks, you're not going to get your tenderloin, by itself. You're not going to have filet mignon. So, it covers all of that stuff. So I just sat there with the book open. The poor book's all greasy now, but sat there with the book open and stared at it and scratched my head a whole bunch. But I got it done. Very, very useful book. It's really cool. The pictures are great. The information's great. I wish I had that book, 4 years ago. Would have really helped me out when I was first learning this stuff. But yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty fun. I've had a blast this past week.
Did you get a weight on all the meats after? Or are you just like, nope, I'm done? And you didn't...
So that's actually in tomorrow's video, but I can talk about it because this podcast will come out after that one. We wound up with 639 pounds of meat. That was what we put in the freezer. We are using everything. Like, I even saved the hide. I had to go deal with the hide today. As the hide was drying, it actually broke the frame that I had it tied up in. And we had to go untie it and re-stretch it, and yeah, it was a job this morning. But as far as meat goes, 649 pounds. I think the last cow we bought was a Angus bull, and he was the same age. He was 2 years old. That Angus bull was like 1,800 pounds or something like that. And what I brought home from the butcher was 760 pounds of beef. So, we got pretty close to that. The live weight was 1,300 pounds. So we lost right around 50%. That's your offal and blood and skin and all that stuff. But yeah, 50% loss on a 1,300 pound steer, and we walked away with 640 pounds of good, delicious, tasty beef.
You did grinding too?
Oh yeah, I think we ground 100 pounds of grind, over 100 pounds. We did a portion that was liver grind. It's your fault. We were over there. I think that was 4th of July. You fed us burgers. You ground all your ground beef with your liver. What'd you add? The heart too?
I think we did, yeah. Liver and heart.
So, those were some of the best burgers we had in a long time. And it was like, okay, when we're grinding our beef, we're going to make some just for hamburgers, liver grind. And so we ground up the liver and put it in some of the grind, ground up the heart, put that in there. And so we had burgers on Friday or Saturday night. Oh, man. Best burgers I have ever had. They were so good. Everything we've eaten from this cow, I would say since I started cutting last Saturday, we've eaten beef every single day for at least 2 meals. I mean, at that rate, we're going to eat through a cow pretty quick, but that's all right. I mean, actually, tonight we had chicken, and it was a welcome change because we've had so much beef over the past week. But yeah, it's been pretty cool.
Every time I see my calf now, I'm just drooling after talking with you.
Yeah.
I sent you some of those pictures of the T-bones and the New York strips. Be like, hey man, this is what you got to look forward to in another year.
Another year. This time next year, maybe a little earlier, we'll be putting ours in the freezer for sure. Yeah.
Something I'm really glad for is not having to feed hay anymore over the winter. I see why a lot of people, you always process your cow headed into winter so you don't have to feed them hay all winter. It's highly convenient not having to get out there every couple days and drop a bale.
Yep. One less thing to do.
So that's pretty much it for me. Not real exciting. I mean, it was exciting, but I stayed pretty much where I'm sitting right now for 5 days. So how about you guys? You guys do anything interesting?
We've been working on the barn. We built a custom slide and pocket door gate. I don't know if I talked about that last week or not, but we got that all done. We built a built-in kind of milking stanchion in one of the walls, so we're not taking up a complete room. for milking because we just milk in the morning, and then we'll either let the cow outside or we don't plan on keeping the cow in the barn, so we don't want to take up a whole bunch of room with a milking station. So I was like, okay, how can we figure this stuff so we can utilize the space we have without taking up more room? So kind of been working on that stuff, getting everything finished. It's been cold and windy, so we're doing everything with metal siding on the inside too. So it's been cold and our hands get cold. So it's going a little bit slower than we'd like, but we're having fun, taking our time, enjoying it. We got hit with a pretty good snowstorm right before the weekend. We got 7 inches of light fluffy stuff. So luckily it was fluffy. So not a huge, terrible like mess to deal with. But we got another storm coming in, I think tomorrow night. Starts off as snow. We're supposed to get 4 inches of snow and then like a ½ inch of rain. So that's probably gonna be a mess. It's winter. Like we've had it pretty mild so far.
That's that storm that's working its way on up right now. It's supposed to nail us tonight. It's moving pretty quick. Yeah, so okay. Yeah, brace yourself. They're saying we're supposed to get this storm is bringing over 1 inch an hour of rain, and it's supposed to rain all night tonight, wow. Starting at 11, all the way until 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Sounds like, I'm checking my phone and it's oh yeah, excessive rainfall warning, flood warning, all that stuff. It's okay, well, glad we live at the top of a hill.
How's your creek? Because that was flowing pretty good after the last storm. Or the culvert, I guess, exiting your property.
It's slowed down after that last rain. It was kind of fun this morning. There's the low spot where it flows from where the swamp is, and it kind of crosses. It's we call it the bottoms. It's the bottom of the property. If we have a particularly wet year, we have a creek that flows down there in the bottoms. But most of the time during the summer it dries up. Well, I drove down there this morning and it was frozen solid. And so I'm driving down there on the golf cart to go feed the pigs, and I kind of avoided a big frozen puddle. I was I wonder what that'd do if I hit it on the way back. I made it about halfway across before it finally broke. I was man, that was kind of fun. I feel like I'm one of those drift cars drifting around corners.
Right.
That poor golf cart. If that golf cart survives a year, it'll be a miracle.
So I've been working on my high tunnel this week. I put in the ridge pole, and I'm just about done. I feel it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the end coming near. And I got to put up some the channel locks around the front poles. But after that, that'd be it. It's ready for plastic. I think I might wait on the plastic though until it warms up a little bit more. I don't know when that's going to be. It might be, I don't know. It might be a few weeks, maybe more.
Yeah, you guys never know.
Yeah, who knows? We might get a random 70 degrees.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's getting there. I'm almost done with it, which I'm excited about. So I'm kind of over it already. I'm kind of all right, let's move on.
Yeah.
I really want to do this fencing and really concentrate on that. I took out some poles and started to figure out other fencing thing. I'm putting in woven wire fence, and that stuff is like a roll of 330 feet. You're looking at Tractor Supply, it's $430.
Oh.
And so, do you have a Rural King by you, Al?
Nope, we don't.
So there's a Rural King kind of by us, and it's kind of like a cross between a Walmart, a Lowe's, Tractor Supply, everything, all those stores all in one.
I love Rural King.
And so, their prices are really good. I noticed they had the same exact woven wire fence that they did at Tractor Supply at Rural King. But at Rural King, it was $300 compared to $430. And I'm are you kidding me? Why is it such a big difference? And so I went down there, and sure enough, they did not have it. And so when I looked at it again on their website, they said they can only deliver to me. They don't have it in store. So then when I look at how much delivery is, it's another $300 to have it delivered
Per roll, or is it $300 flat fee?
per roll.
That's crazy.
Well, I
Yeah,
put
that's
in
where
like
they
2
get you.
rolls, and it was $300.
Yep.
So I'm like, dang it.
Right.
It got me excited there for a minute.
That's a bummer.
And so I ended up getting some poles over there, which were a little bit cheaper than Tractor Supply, but so I don't know. I don't think there's any way around it. I'm going to have to it's cheaper just to go to Tractor Supply.
And now you got to do like a high wire fence because your pigs jump over the low fence.
That's true. That might come true. That I foresee the future.
Jason, why are you building an 8-foot tall fence? You only have pigs and sheep and cows over there.
Have you seen my pigs jump? You haven't seen my pigs jump yet.
I've seen it.
So I don't think there's any way around it really. But I'm trying to find a way to make it cheaper, of course, but I'm just gonna have to just do it. So
You guys got local feed stores? I wonder if they'd be any cheaper or not. Or if they would have fencing or anything.
I bet you not.
No. Because I know what I've noticed. The farm stuff, like we don't have anybody else to compare pricing to. But if you go for like latches and just different like hardware, they're like double the price of Lowe's and Home Depot for the random hardware stuff. So if you can get it at Lowe's or Home Depot, you're better off.
Right.
I don't know why they're so expensive on some of those things. But... And then I will say their pricing on grain is crazy. We haven't bought grain there. I don't think we ever really did. But it was like, you'd go look at the organic grain. It's like, oh, that's comparable to what I'm paying at my local feed store. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. That's only a 40-pound bag. Where my local grain store is a 50-pound bag for the same price. Like kind of, or you think you're saving a buck or two. And it's like, no, you're not. But...
I know. Yeah, so I just picked up the 2,000 pounds of feed today. Actually, I was just shoveling. I almost forgot we had a podcast. I was shoveling it in barrels, and I was like, "Oh wait, I gotta stop."
Can you pick it up with your winch outside?
Yeah, so not my electric winch. My electric winch only does 800 pounds, but I have a chain hoist that I use.
Could you pick it up and get a 55-gallon drum under it? Like, do you have enough height?
I probably do.
Because there's a contraption they make that you like poke through the bottom of those bags. And it's like a gate to let it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've seen those.
I don't know if that'd be easier just to kind of wheel over a 55-gallon drum and let it out and do the next one.
Yeah, I've seen that before. Seems kind of shady to me, but it's something that I have to get underneath. I guess that's why I haven't tried it yet.
Okay.
I did try though the shop vac method.
Oh.
Did it work?
And it didn't work for me unless I wasn't doing it right.
Oh, that's a bummer.
If anything, it made a giant mess. I was covered in feed.
To record it at least? Do we get to see
No,
it?
I didn't record it.
Man.
I kind of wanted to try it first, and I was like, I'm just gonna, because I just grabbed it real quick. And I was like, I'm gonna see if this works, and I was like, man, I'm just throwing like dust of feed in the air. I don't know. It didn't work for me, so I don't know. Like I shovel the feed, and it takes me 3 minutes to fill up a 55-gallon barrel.
Oh, that's not bad then.
I mean, it's
You
not.
can't really beat that.
No.
That's quick. I mean, it's labor intensive, I guess, but
It's like shoveling snow. So that's like your workout. Like I gotta shovel snow, you can shovel grain, right?
yeah, it's not horrible. So the farm that I pick them from, there's a farm close by that they're a dealer for the feed that I use. And I was talking about sheep because they got some sheep this year, and I forget the name of the sheep, but it's a wool sheep, and it's also a milking sheep. Have you guys had sheep milk before?
Nope.
I have.
Have you
Actually, I
tried
take
it?
that back. I've had goat's milk
Yeah.
now that I think about it.
Yeah, goat's milk I've had, but I haven't tried it. They didn't have any there because they haven't started milking them yet. But now I'm curious. Um, so I don't know. I told them if they're supposed to have some sheep babies soon. So I was like, I don't know. I might get some.
Right.
I don't know about trying for milk, but at least just to have for meat. But we'll see. I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting. I think it'd be fun to. First of all, I think it'd be fun to milk one and try it. And also, if it's a wool sheep, shaving it. I think that'd be fun.
Was your a wool sheep or a hair sheep that you guys did for meat there, Ben, that you got from a friend?
That was a hair sheep. I guess supposedly the hair sheep, because they don't produce as much lanolin, um, they taste a little bit less, muttony. Because mutton does have a pretty distinct flavor to it. But yeah, I want to say they were like a Katahdin or something. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I would have to ask my friend Mike, who I got him from, what that breed of sheep was. But yeah, they were a hair sheep.
We're going to be butchering, believe this Friday, our sheep. It's a Katahdin Dorper mix. So I got a question for you. How did you let yours hang, Ben, and how long? The book says 3 to 5 days. I didn't know if you did that or not.
No, we processed them the next day. We just stuck them in a cooler. Where you're at, and the time of year, like, you got a lot colder weather. We did it in, I think, June. It was a particularly cool evening. We were working towards the cool of the evening. Stuck them in a cooler. I think we put ice in the cooler and then put them up on top of the ice. And by the next day, like, the carcasses were nice and cool, and we just cut the next day. Doesn't taste off or anything like that. Like, it's really, really good meat. We've enjoyed it, but yeah, we didn't hang, if you really want to get particular. Yeah, we hung for 12 hours.
Well, I was reading up on it this morning on that Adam Danforth book. We have the one for the small game, like chicken and lamb and stuff, and it said 3 to 5 days for the lamb, or maybe it was either 2 to 3. No, it was 3 to 5. But then it said cover it because they can dry out. So I ended up ordering some game bags. I figured I'll put them in the game bags. They say if you let it could, just dry out on the outside. So I think I'll try that. I got to get a thermometer to put inside of our cool room in the workshop. So the workshop's not heated, but it's insulated. And I'm curious to see if the cool room stays like between like 40s and upper 30s. That'd be perfect to stick it in there because then it wouldn't freeze. Because I was looking this weekend, was supposed to be like in the 20s. So I'm like, if I hang it, it's going to be frozen right away. So that's really not going to accomplish anything either if it freezes right away.
Yep.
So
How are you planning on killing it?
I think with my pew, I don't know. I can't get around splitting the neck when it's alive. Like, I know I'm gonna do that after to bleed it out, but I don't know. I don't know you should do it with the sheep, but
If you set them up on their butt, they just like freeze. Like, it's kind of
yeah,
weird the way it works, but have a firm grip, because the sudden movement of your arm will set them off. So make sure you have a good grip on them. But I mean, you could go the halal method,
Yep.
and you sneak up and grab the sheep, and they never see it coming. That kind of system. I have a newfound respect for people who end their animals, like the halal way or stuff like that. Trying to catch those sheep and them not seeing the knife in your hand, like that's a whole different game.
sheep are a different animal when it comes to that kind of stuff. They don't like you getting close to them for sure.
But it's kind of weird how it kind of is easy though.
Right.
Like they don't put up a fight.
Yeah.
Like once you put them on their back or pick them up, kind of.
Yeah, so you expect them to fight. I mean, that one time me and you did it, Ben. doing it for the first time, you grab one and it's like, wait a minute, he's not fighting me.
Yeah, once you get them up on their butt, they just like, they freeze. They're just like, okay, I'm stuck. I'm off my feet.
Do you have any lamb left? Do you guys go through it all?
I think we've got maybe a couple shoulders left. We've been savoring the lamb. I would say, like, aside from deer, we have savored the lamb the most out of every meat we have. Like, if it's a special occasion, we'll break out the lamb and, you know, do like, you know, French dip sandwiches or something like that. But man, yeah, watching the lamb dwindle, it's like it was perfect timing. Like, we got those sheep because it was like, well, we're gonna be out of everything by the time, you know, before we get to butcher season again. And so my friend Mike just happened to be getting rid of some sheep, and it was perfect timing. But yeah, now that we're almost out of lamb, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to find some more lamb, because this has been quite a treat having that in the freezer.
Now, did you like the fancy lamb chops and stuff? Or did you keep it pretty simple when you were cutting that one up?
Heck no. We two of these sheep we did were so small. Like, I basically cut it into the primals and just bagged it up. There was a couple of them. I think, like, I ended up, because we portion for meals. We portion the way we eat. And so when you're staring at a leg of lamb that's the size of a rabbit, and not even a big rabbit, it's like, why don't we put two of these together and we'll wrap that up and that'll be a meal. So yeah, we the small ones I just cut into primals and we package those. So, you know, that's like 3 pieces, because you only have like 3 primals on a sheep, front, back, and, you know, your belly and loin section. Yeah, just paired that stuff up. So every bag has like 2 legs in it, and we're good to go. Defrost that, cook them both. And now I will say the younger lambs, they were really, really tender, really good. They're just small. But the one, that big sheep, she was over 100 pounds. I want to say each side was like 60, 70 pounds or something like that. So she was a big sheep. She was a little bit tougher because she was older, but still, like, you cook anything low and slow, it's delectable.
What was the ages? Do you know how old they were?
I think the 2 younger ones were like around a year, something like that, and then the older one was a little bit older. I know they weren't like super old. If I was going to do sheep again, I'd probably let them get a little bit bigger. Those 2 little ones, it's almost kind of a waste doing them so small and then trying to piece them out. You know, your lamb chops are the size of a 50-cent piece, so it's almost worth it just letting them get full size.
It seems like they're one of the harder animals to judge, because they're like, you don't want them getting too old, then they get more of the muttony taste, and you want to. But if you know, I think, what do they say, between 6 and 9 months, and it's like 6 and 9 months. That's ours will be a little, probably like 10 months, and it's like, but anything over a year, they're like, then you're getting into the lamb muttony kind of stuff. So you just kind of got to find that happy medium.
Is that the only sheep you have? That one?
Yeah, we got 2, and one of it, the other one got worms really bad, like right after we had it. So we're assuming it came with them, and yeah, so we just have the one, and she runs with the goats, kind of does her own thing.
So when you butcher, Al, is it just you guys? You have other people come in, or?
No, it'll just be us. I'll probably do it Friday afternoon, let it hang for 3 to 5 days, and then cut it up. I'm assuming it's not going to take too long to eat for both parts, because she's not, I mean, I'm going to say she's probably around 90 to 100 pounds live weight would be my guess. Not huge, but I hope not too tiny, so we'll find out.
So this is your first lamb you've ever done?
This will be yeah. We've done the pigs ourselves. We did, chickens and stuff, but yeah, we never done lambs, never done a cow, so done rabbits. So I'm kind of thinking it'll be in between a pig and a rabbit.
I mean, you've done a deer. Have you done any deer?
Nope, I've helped the deer, but I've never done a deer myself. I've never taken time to go hunting enough to get a deer. I'll go out and do stuff, but I don't spend enough time in the woods to get one. You know, I've done beaver.
Time's too valuable to go sitting in a tree stand.
Usually the fall we're busy. It's like if hunting season was right now, I could make time for it. But
Yep.
you know, November, December, we're still busy doing stuff. So
Yeah, we like containing our animals.
right, and we're guaranteed. Well, I shouldn't say we're guaranteed. We're more likely to get that animal than we are than there was waiting for one. And the people hunting probably spend just as much money on that deer as you did raising a lamb.
Yeah, that's the
or
truth
50
right
to
there.
100 chickens with all the money they invested the clothing, the guns, you know what I mean? It's like,
The time off work.
yeah. I laugh at people who are like, oh, it's too expensive for organic feed or to raise your own. It's like, how much did that deer cost you a pound? Like if you think, well, my hunting license is, $50. Yeah, but what about your hunting clothes and your rifle and like you said, your time off and you figure that all
Processor
out.
fee.
That's some expensive meat. Now is deer season still going on where you guys are?
Nope. It ends
It's over, isn't it?
January 2nd, I think, is the official end. So yeah, like you could tell deer season was winding down because all of a sudden I'm seeing bucks down at the end of the driveway. It's like, yeah, deer season must be over. They're all coming out of hiding.
Yep. So that's a long season because ours gets over December 15th. So you guys are not quite a month, but 3 weeks, almost longer.
But I don't have a hunting rifle, and I actually bought one this year. I probably shouldn't wait the last minute, but I bought one at a store. I bought it online and went to go pick it up, but what I did not do was I never updated my driver's license to my new address, so they wouldn't give it to me.
Bummer.
Even though they told me on the email saying, oh, if you don't have your updated address, just show other forms of ID. And I brought that with me, and they still wouldn't give it to me. They're like, no, we can't do that.
So have you switched your license yet?
No.
No.
Well, I think I have to go in and do it. It's weird because I went to go look online, and I have to, you could make an appointment to go in, like the DMV, but the next appointment is like 2 months from now.
Oh wow.
Yep. Yeah,
Like,
it's ridiculous around here. I don't know if it's just our county or if it's North Carolina in general, but man, it's screwy.
Yeah, right. So I was kind of bummed about that. I guess I shouldn't have waited last minute. So that's my goal for this year is to get a rifle and update my license before it's actually hunting season.
Right.
And then hopefully I can get a deer in my backyard. That would be cool, kind of cool to get one in my backyard.
That'd be nice. So when do you guys start planting your gardens and starting your seeds? It's got to be coming up soon, I would think.
Well, it's coming pretty
For some of
soon.
this stuff.
Definitely have the bug already. Starting to.
Yeah, the rain's been doing it.
She's been
this
doing
year.
it. Lorraine's starting to do it already.
Yeah, she started doing it this week.
Yep. Speaking of that, I got the seeds in the mail. Thank you, Ben. Meg.
Hey, you're welcome.
Showed up today.
I actually thought about slipping some slices of prosciutto in there with the seeds, but I wasn't sure they'd make the trip.
Right. Do you have any
That wouldn't
prosciutto
be-
left? You guys eat it all.
Oh, we got prosciutto. We got 3 of them that are ready, and we're almost through the first one. But I think Brett, the middle boy, every single day for an entire week after we cracked into that one, every day for lunch, he's like, "Can I have prosciutto for lunch?" It's like, no. If we let you eat it every day for lunch, they're all going to disappear within a week. But yeah, like I was thinking about it. Would it be
Prosciutto for
weird?
lunch.
Would it be weird if like you got prosciutto in the mail and like vacuum packed? I didn't know how you'd feel about that, so that was why I kind of didn't.
No. I don't think so. It would have been frozen half the trip up here anyways, most likely.
Yeah, that's a good point. That was a good point.
It'd be either from you or from Amazon. Either one.
Right? You can order it online. I would trust it from you more than I would from Amazon, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, this is these hams we're eating right now are the ones we did with hand hewn. So technically, it's their ham. They made it. They showed us how to make them. So
for him.
yeah,
Yep.
it's kind of weird. It's really weird. Like this is truly
you
slow
let-
food.
Will you let anybody try it at the class this coming weekend?
I mean, if they really hounded me about it, like we feed everybody pretty good. But if people are like, hey man, yeah, can I try some of that? I could probably oblige. I mean, it's we're gonna be making another
That's where I draw the
prosciutto.
line.
Yeah, we're gonna be making another prosciutto this class. So I mean, the subject is definitely going to come up, but. Yeah, I don't know. Is that weird to go to someone else's house and ask them for their prosciutto? Is that not
Is that
real?
proper etiquette?
Yeah, is that proper etiquette?
I don't know. I don't think I would ask. I'd be like, no, that's their prosciutto.
Right.
I mean, I do have one down there in the
You have 2
barn.
pigs this time too.
Yeah. This is another 2 pigs. Same thing. It's feeder pig and a guinea hog. I'm very glad that the last feeder pig's finally going in the freezer because these things can really eat a lot of food. It'll be nice to just be down to just 16 guinea hogs that we have on the property.
And when's the next time you can butcher any of those guinea hogs?
So actually, we messed up. We sold the first batch we had in spring last year. And so the way it's going to stack out, we're actually not going to have any guinea hogs ready by next winter. This batch that we currently have, the babies, they will only be about 14, 15 months come next winter. So we're in the same boat that we were in this past year. We're going to have to buy some more feeder pigs, but I think we learned our lesson. Don't sell all of your pigs if they're born at the proper time. So that's all right. Live and learn. We'll just, I think, 2025, we'll finally be on the right track to where, the pigs are 2 years old by the time we butcher them. It's hard planning stuff that many years ahead. It's just like, if it's born this year,
It is.
2024, then it's 26's pork for the freezer. So yeah, it's slow food again.
So you wait a whole nother winter to process those, or you process those once that spring or summer?
Well,
It'll be 14 weeks next winter.
if they're 14 months old, they're only going to be maybe 50 pounds of meat for the freezer. They won't be very big unless I've got like one that puts on the mega growth and just grows super huge, but I don't see that happening with our current genetics. I don't know. Something we've talked about doing this year is we want to replace our breeders. Like we're happy with our boar, but the females we're seeing we just don't have very, very good genetics as far as like size. Because I've seen other people's guinea hogs. Like you can get guinea hogs that get huge by 2 years. Like even our boar, he's like 2 years old right now, and he's probably pushing 400 pounds. He dwarfs our females. And when we got him, he was 3 months old. So I know that genetics has a lot to do with it. So we'll probably cycle out our current breeders and see if we can get some better genetics in here. Yeah, it's a process.
Yeah, the ones you sold, they would have been the same age as our coonies now.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna butcher them. I think they'll be like 20 months when we'll butcher them.
Yeah, so they'll pretty much be full size.
You'll be doing yours next winter.
What's that?
How old's the breeding stock right now, Jason?
They're 2 years.
Okay, so that's about the size of what your babies will be when you go to butcher them then.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
And you have 4 of them that
Yep.
you kept.
4 of them. They'll be ready to go this year.
2024, crazy to think you'll be ready to butcher them. It's already the year. So you guys got your meat birds ordered? Or are you still figuring all that out when you're doing them?
Yeah, we put in our order. We have our first batch coming March 11th. 60.
60 of them, March 11th.
That's I gave myself That's my goal, is to have the high tunnel finished and have the main part of my fencing finished by March 11th.
So when you got your meat birds, you don't have to be working on finishing up that stuff.
Yeah, because something else, I'm going to get something else. Like, meat birds come, and the next thing you know, I'm getting a cow. Next thing you know, I'm getting sheep.
Turkeys. Oh, yeah.
Like, other things are going to happen. People are going to, yeah, turkeys. Something's going to happen. I'm going to get some other animal. So, yeah. That's my goal anyways. We'll see.
So is there anything new you guys are going to be planting this year with the greenhouse, Jason?
I don't know. I was talking to Lorraine about that. I'm not sure if there's anything new. I definitely want to plant some tomatoes in there.
Some Carolina Reapers?
Maybe not that hot. That's too hot.
Right.
Some serranos or jalapenos at least.
I'm like a banana pepper kind of guy. That's like my heat level.
I mean, geographically, like, there's a reason for the stereotypes. Like, it is what it is.
Right. That's right.
That's a bell pepper.
Bell peppers are good, but there's no heat there. I can go to a banana pepper.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, in your defense, I've had banana
is...
peppers that are stinking hot. So, yeah. Like, you got to watch out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You do. I can go to jalapenos. That's like my max. Other than that, I can eat the stuff, and I'm like, it's too hot and spicy. I don't know. You don't taste anything at that point. So it's like, what's the point? I guess that's the way I feel.
Yeah.
But, I wasn't raised on spicy food.
Sometimes I want to have hot salsa where it's so hot that I'm sweating, but it's so good I can't stop eating it. You ever feel that way?
No.
That's the good stuff right there.
Sometimes.
That's funny.
You sweating right on your eyebrows because it's so hot.
It's like 20 degrees outside, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm sweating.
So it's like 20 below out. I should like open up a jar of salsa like that, you're saying?
Yeah. That's the best time. Best time to eat salsa, when it's cold out. And do it in your barn.
Right. I'll do it when we're outside like a tent or something.
One thing I still have to do, though, I probably should do it before I start planting in that high tunnel, is I need to run some water lines out there, because we have no way of watering once we plant. I guess I could run a hose, but that's no fun.
Can you get water from your 1,000-gallon tank that you put up above fairly simply, or?
It'd be a long hose.
A long hose, yeah.
It'd be a long hose. Either way, I have to run a hose. It's a shorter distance if I run a hose from the house to the high tunnel.
So if you run water lines, where are you running the water lines from? The house or from the water tank?
I'll probably run it from the well, yeah, by the house, and then run into a hydrant. That's the first water, and then I'll probably run a hose too. I'll probably do both. I want to do both. I would love to get it on a drip system.
That's the way to go. Yeah, I think that's been the hardest thing with our greenhouse, is keeping stuff watered in the heat of summer. Like, it gets bone dry in there if you aren't in there watering. This past year, I just went and bought one of those soaker hoses and, put that through the greenhouse, and just that was such an improvement over having to go in there and water. So yeah, if you could set up like a water system with maybe like a sprinkler timer or something like that, man, that's the way to go.
We did the drip tape. We found that very handy. I didn't have a timer. I would just go out like every morning and turn it on for X amount of time and then shut it off. But the timer would be really nice.
I need a trencher.
Right. You guys got like a Home Depot that does rentals?
We got a rental place.
By you?
Yeah, there's a rental place. Not a Home Depot, but.
Do they have a trencher?
Yeah.
Pretty sure they do.
Nice.
Yeah, they got everything. They even rent you porta potties. That's who we rent our porta potties from.
Oh, they do not have, which I checked before I bought it, was the T-post pounder, the gas powered T-post pounder. They did not have one of those, because I was going to rent one instead of buying one, and then now I'm glad I bought one, because I would have used it I've used it so many times.
Right, you paid for it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Jason, if you want to go and have these on a rental of a trencher, I'll help you trench your place. You help me trench mine, and we can both put in water lines.
Yeah, that would be good. We just have a trenching party.
Right.
Just rent it for like a week. It's probably cheaper than, a couple days in the long run.
Yeah, because a trencher runs slow, don't it? Like,
yeah,
it's like a slow go.
It's like a slow walk.
It's not.
Depends on how rocky it is.
Yeah, it's not. I've never rented one, but
yeah, back in the day,
yeah.
I did landscape installation when I was like right out of high school. Did that for about 3 years. I've trenched miles behind a trencher. It's the way to go if you got a lot of water line to put in.
How deep do you guys need to go for your area?
I think our frost line's only 6 inches.
That'll save you a lot of time.
Yeah, if you could dig down, 18 inches, you're below anything that you'd have to worry about.
Yep.
I think the only thing is, like it'll trenching in this clay is no problem. It's just the rocks. When you hit all the rocks, that's when it's slow going.
Do you guys have rocks? Looks like a lot of your stuff is usually clay, but I guess. Oh yeah.
Got more clay than rocks, but there's rocks. They're always where you don't want them.
Yeah. Right where you need a post. Yeah, that's something I need to figure out. It's like if we get a trencher, I want to be ready, like have the pipe. Well, I guess we don't need the pipe. I mean, we can at least just trench it, and then we're not doing everything in one day. I guess at least know where to go.
If there's 2 of you guys, though, you might be able to trench it and put the hose in or the pipe in pretty quickly. One doing one doing the other.
Or figure out what pipe. Is it just PVC pipe?
No, I would do the black water line.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do is the black poly pipe.
Pipe?
It's the cheapest.
Yeah. Like when we did our well, that's what the well guys used. It wasn't black poly pipe, but it was a blue poly pipe. Just, like a big roll of PEX is what they had for the well. So,
PEX.
Yeah. But I would just do the black poly pipe. Like if that's what we have for our water lines that we ran. And when we run more water lines, I'll be doing more with the poly pipe.
What size would you say is best? Like 1 inch?
I'm trying to think. I think we did 1.5 inches, but we're just gravity. So I would think 1 inch would be more than enough for you guys. But you're gonna be on your well.
Depends on how far you're going. There's a formula for how much pressure you're starting with, how far of a run you're going. So like for me, I've got the first couple 100 feet is going to be 1 inch, and then it's going to step down to 3/4 inch at the very farthest reaches. I don't think a single run's going to be over 600 feet or something like that. So there's a formula for figuring all that out. You can Google it.
Now you going all the way to where your pigs are out in the woods, Ben? Is that where you guys want to go?
Probably not. I'm just going to get water to the barn, and then from there, I'm cool with running a hose.
Okay.
I really don't want to run a water line under where the creek flows, because if we have a really bad year and we have some erosion, I don't want to be washing pressurized water line out. That sounds kind of nerve-wracking, but yeah, I'm gonna, once I have water to the barn, 200, 300 feet of hose will reach to the property line from the barn, so it's pretty close. It's not that bad. It's better than the 600 feet of hoses that I currently have out to the woods.
How often do you get to replace them? Have you found like a good hose that'll last more than a year sitting outside?
Heck no. I've had pretty good luck, believe it or not, with the Harbor Freight hoses, as long as you don't run them over when it's freezing cold outside. The Harbor Freight hoses, I've got 2 of them that I bought the year we moved here, and they're still going strong. But They pretty much just stay stretched out in a spot where I don't run them over with the tractor, I don't run them over with the car, nothing. They're just out in the grass, and yeah, they're still going strong. All of the expensive hoses from Lowe's, I've tried every hose Lowe's sells, and all of them, like the expensive Stanley ones, they just randomly blow holes if you're using them.
Yep.
I've used the quote unquote contractor grade, those red ones. Yeah, those always break right at the end. I mean, it doesn't matter. I've had pretty good luck with those little G-Flex hoses. Those ones have been pretty good, but once again, don't yank on them too hard.
We got in Camco or something like that, the blue ones that are water safe. Those blow out over like a year. And then the other ones I tried were Goodyear, I think. They were blue with a yellow line. Water's drinking safe one. And they just like those this year, like this fall, there's all of a sudden would just start squirting. Like the middle of the hose just start squirting. I'm like, oh, I guess I gotta go find another hose.
Jason's got these really cool ones that are like polypropylene or something like that. They're like super light, and they're all drinking safe. What are those hoses called, Jason? Those are awesome hoses.
Those green ones?
Yeah.
I don't remember what they're called. I got them on Amazon. Those ones actually, those are my longest lasting ones. I've had those for a number of years. I want to say probably like 3 or 4 years, some of those.
Now you got me wondering, because I've never seen those before.
Jason's doing a search right now.
Water Right.
Water Right.
Water RIGHT. They're olive green color.
Oh, okay.
Yep, they got brass fittings on them on the ends. Yeah, those ones last me a while. They're still going.
I think it's the Camco ones. Like when I search that, the Camco ones come up. They have like nice stainless steel fittings. They look like really nice hoses, but they like delaminate or something. There's like 2 or 3 different layers in them. And they always blow out.
Yeah, last year I ran one over with my lawnmower and it got tangled all up. But you just cut that and it works. It still works.
Right.
It's still going.
I think my only gripe with all these different hoses is the trend I'm seeing is there are no more user serviceable parts. Like those G-Flex hoses, if you break them, you can't cut the end off and just put a new end on. Like once they're broken, all you can do is take them back to the store.
Almost like, who does it? Doesn't Salatin do, for his chickens? I think he uses air hose.
Oh, really?
For an air compressor.
Yep.
And he cuts the end off and he puts a actual hose, water hose end on them.
They're probably more durable, for sure. Like
I think he does that with his the big old chicken tractors that he has, because he has everything on a roll where you just pull it out, the hose.
Yeah, they must have water lines everywhere. His farm with all the animals and the chicken tractors and.
Oh, I can't imagine.
Yeah, he most of his farm is all gravity fed.
I found a thing. I ordered one. I have it, but I haven't used it yet. I saw it on one of Greg Judy's videos. It's not from him. Some other rancher makes some, and it's an automatic float filler for a stock tank. But you got to leave your water running, and in the wintertime, it'll work up to negative, I think 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and it just circulates the water from gravity, and it keeps the stock tanks defrosted. But you got to have an overflow for it to go out. So I want to figure out our water system so we can have it down to the barn, feeding one tank, going from another tank down to another tank, and just kind of chain them out and see if we can do that. And just kind of have it all in one area. 'Cause it'd be nice to have gravity-fed water just automatically to everything. So it's definitely a head scratcher. Try to plan it all, figure it out. I think that'll be this year project is expanding our water lines and seeing how far we can get everything to go, and be nice not to have to break ice in the winter. For sure.
For sure.
All right, so we're about an hour, guys. You guys have anything else?
Nope.
Or save it for next week? All right. I think that's it. Appreciate everyone listening and watching. Oh, geez. I did get better, by the way. I'm not sick anymore. I appreciate everyone listening and watching this podcast. And hope everyone has an awesome week. Thank you, guys. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.
See you guys later.